Punk Revolution now. Today we're going to be reviewing Madlib. Madlib being an incredible hip-hop producer. Come on, it's freaking Madlib. I hope you've heard of him. Well, if you're not, I'm going to tell you right now. He is like one of the best hip-hop producers ever. He's worked with MF Doom. He's worked a lot with Freddie Gibbs. He's worked with freaking Kanye West. He's got just a huge output of fantastic beats that are so psychedelic and fun and playful and trippy and cartoony and just wonderful atmosphere. I mean, he's just so fantastic. And he's releasing a solo album now with the help of Four Tet. Four Tet being another super influential, fantastic electronic musician. So that's pretty interesting stuff. I'm excited to see what's going on because Madlib is the fucking boss. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the album cover. This album cover, to me, in combination with the album title Sound Ancestors, it just has like a very like spiritual feel to it. Like, is that supposed to be like the universe and space, and maybe in the center there is God or something? I don't know. Like, it looks very celestial and spiritual to me. Pretty cool. Not too much to say of the album cover. Pretty simple, but it's a cool abstract little piece of art. And of course, that's gonna tie in very nicely with the music that's also gonna be pretty spiritual. Lots of spiritual jazz influence. I'm not talking spiritual in any like lyrical sense, like no, this is like an instrumental album, but the way it explores jazz in such abstract ways where it's just like a variety of instrumentation, just like it's almost like just creatively exploring different sounds you can create with different instruments, sometimes dissonant and dizzying, sometimes really quiet and beautiful, very much exploratory, much like a spiritual jazz record would be. And frankly, if you told me that Madlib has released an instrumental album that has spiritual jazz influence, I might be like, you know what, I kind of want to skip that. I feel like I've listened to a ton of instrumental hip-hop from Madlib. I kind of know what Madlib's vibe is already, and I've already listened to a ton of instrumental hip-hop with spiritual jazz influence in it. It's like, do I really need that? Is Madlib really capable of delivering something new and fresh to my ears this late in his career? Probably not. And then I listen to it and I'm just fucking stunned, because he kicks ass. This is so much more than just an instrumental hip-hop album with kind of some jazz influence in there. This is covering so much ground, and all the ground that Madlib is covering, he's fucking killing it. There's of course the beautiful, chills-inducing jazz, gentle, kind of psychedelic, trippy, atmospheric moments, but then there's some very playful moments in there too, like the Young Marble Giant sample is just brilliant. It's an absolutely gorgeous melody of the song, and then he really makes it his own with the kind of like off-kilter, slightly offbeat guitars, and it just adds to trippiness. You got some really wonderful instrumentation here that just sounds arranged like it's like an actual like professional jazz arrangement, not just like, hey, we're gonna take this cool little thing and we're gonna put like kick and snare on top of it and call it a day. Like, no, we're gonna fucking take these guitars and take these saxophones and take all these little things and just like arrange it together, very much like maybe like Charles Mingus would do, except it all comes together in this kind of trippy, artificial way that only an instrumental hip-hop track could capture. But it sounds fucking fantastic. I love the acoustic guitars. The acoustic guitars are probably my favorite part of this album, just so like almost like like Latin jazz, finger picking the guitars. It sounds fantastic. And in contrast with the more gentle, spiritual, abstract, quieter, jazzy parts, he incorporates some actually slightly more aggressive like boom bap, like getting back to the roots of the 90s instrumental hip hop, which sounds fucking fantastic. And it just goes to show too how versatile of a record this is. This is not just going to be constantly just giving you one thing. It's going to be very dynamic. Sometimes we're quiet, sometimes we're getting more aggressive. It's just constantly keeping you on your toes, constantly moving. Just a really fantastic record that's compelling from start to finish. And while doing all this, we're also picking up some freaking wonderful J Dilla influence. The way, like you might hear a sample repeat itself a lot. That's very, reminds me a lot of like J Dilla Donuts. And then there's a freaking fantastic track on this album dedicated to J Dilla, a wonderful song that really evolves and just shows that Madlib has really studied J Dilla and really understands what he's doing and how to incorporate that influence into his music beautifully. And I'm also hearing like a lot of like Flying Lotus influence in this music. Also not surprising, J Dilla, Flying Lotus, very influential artists in the realm of instrumental hip-hop. And then on top of that, you also have Four Tet collaborating in here too. I'm not exactly sure where Four Tet fits into this. He creates like micro house using a lot of like real instrumentation as samples and stuff like that. I'm definitely picking up, the use of a lot of real instrumentation in very abstract ways throughout this album is something that I could imagine Four Tet contributing to. But at the end of the day, what you have is a record that covers a fuck ton of ground that's already been, explored within the realm of instrumental hip hop, but Madlib, he like hits every fucking thing like masterfully. Like he does all this shit and he does not miss a beat. Every single little idea he wants to explore, he fleshes out and makes it sound really fucking good. What more can you want? It's Madlib exploring a lot of the best elements of instrumental hip hop, covering a ton of ground somehow cohesively in what comes across as like a jazz record. It's fucking brilliant. It's just shocking that Madlib is this talented. So I'm giving this an 8.2 out of 10. Fantastic album. Definitely don't skip this. If you were like me, who are like, you know what, I've listened to a ton of Madlib, I don't need anything else from him. Don't do that. Don't skip this. This is fantastic. 8.2. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe because my channel's growing very fast. Look how fast I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. Let's hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the decade. Punk Revolution now. Like, comment, subscribe. Punk Revolution now.